Okay, so good day everyone. Now we are going to discuss about the basics of small animal dentistry. So this will be focusing on some of the common diseases that is associated with dogs and cats, and of course just a brief overview with regards to that such diseases and mga potential treatment. Okay, so for the objectives of this topic, let me present my slide first. Wait lang po muna. Okay. So, our goal here is to discuss the different dental diseases in dogs and cats, including their etiology, epidemiology, and clinical manifestations, then to analyze the differential diagnosis, diagnostic procedures, and prognosis of different dental diseases in dogs and cats, and also to formulate the treatment and preventive measures for various dental disease in dogs and cats. Actually, the objectives are being guided in accordance to the CHED in making the TOS for veterinary medicine licensure examination. So, as an introduction, dental care helps your pet live longer. There is actually several studies documented by the DVM Multimedia that dental diseases is one number one illness affecting pets and can affect the heart, kidney, and lung function. Okay, there are cases that the said diseases such as heart, kidney, liver, or lung function can reflect through dental diseases, but also there are some cases that the dental disease itself might complicate, which can result to heart, kidney, or lung diseases or secondary systemic diseases. And about 59% of pet owners surveyed that they did not know that proper oral health care can prevent dental diseases. Para sa kanila, basta nabubuhay lang yung aso, makakain ng dalawa or tatlong beses sa isang araw, eh okay na. Well, in fact, dental diseases or dental care is still vital to overall pet's health. And by the age 3, study ito sa mga pusa, 70% of cats have a form of dental disease. And the pet owners do not know that. And the number is higher in dogs. That at the age of 3, they might predispose to dental disease. So, mas mabuti na maging aware kayo so that you can educate your future clients in your small animal practice so that they may optimize their dental care and can promote to extend their lives by up to 20% longer. Okay. So, these are the common signs that is usually associated with dental diseases. So, number one, of course, is bad breath or with the medical term halitosis. Next is sore mouth, difficulty eating. Of course, sino ba naman ang gustong kumain once sumasakit yung ngipin, di ba, kahit sa tao? Loose teeth, chewing, bleeding gums. Of course, pag malala na yung condition, dudugo talaga yung gums. Tartar on teeth upon prolonged na pinapabayaan lang yung mga what you call this, yung mga dirt na nasa ngipin. And then dribbling. Of course, pag grabe na yung infection, medyo masakit na, it will hypersalivate just like this one in the picture. Okay. So for the diagnosis of dental diseases, of course, we need to do clinical evaluation or clinical examination. You need to do oral inspection. So to assess if there is a presence of dental plaque, tartar, or gingival inflammation, and potential malocclusion. So aside from that, you need also to palpate the outside of the oral cavity, especially the cheek area, to assess for potential painful areas, swelling, or masses in the oral cavity. You need also to, what do you call this, to do periodontal examination. So, measure pocket depths, gum recession, and mobility of the teeth. Please disregard this one. Kalimutan ko lang edit. And for the diagnostic tools, of course, very common is dental radiography, not only in humans but also in animals. Meron din silang dental radiograph. Okay. Next is for scaling and polishing. So that is actually intended to remove plaque and tartar buildup and also to prevent gingivitis. and also intraoral examination using a dental probe for detailed inspection of the periodontal teeth. Actually, veterinary dentistry is sort of a different skill set na para sa isang veterinaryo. And as of today in the Philippines, parang bata pa ito or hindi pa masyado na established or hindi pa masyadong veterinarians na specialized in dentistry. So might as well consider this as one of your career path, 'di ba? And then treatment and management. So professional cleaning, scaling, polishing, and fluoride treatment. So yes, actually this is more of a preventive procedure rather than a treatment. Kasi meron talaga mga pet owners na gustong maging puti or let's say malinis yung ngipin ng aso nila. Tooth extraction, especially for severely damaged or infected teeth, and also for those retained deciduous teeth. And surgical intervention, especially if there is a presence of tumors or abscesses, let's say wala naman talagang infection sa ngipin or wala naman talagang problema sa ngipin kaso there nagkataon lang na merong tumor na na-localize doon malapit sa ngipin. So surgery it would be the most preferred na treatment for that. And then home care, of course, dental diets, dental chews, which is very vital for dogs, and regular brushing to prevent further issues. Okay, after there is a certain mga brands naman na pwedeng pangat-ngatin mo sa aso kasi pag hindi mo sila binagyan ng dental chews, malamang sa malamang eh yung tsinelas nyo ang mauubos. So let us discuss some of the common cases, especially with specialized on the veterinary dentistry. Of course, I am just only highlighting some, but there are still a lot of dental cases known to veterinary practice. And kayo na lang bahala magbasa nito or based sa assignment natin. Okay, so for the periodontal disease, this is one of the very common clinical manifestation or dental problems in dogs and cats. So the causes of which is bacterial plaque accumulation or poor oral hygiene. Very common actually in dogs and cats, especially in older animals. Of course, actually when we say periodontal, parang ganito siya. There might a potential discoloration at surrounding the teeth and tungod dahil ito sa mga plaque accumulation at once ma-disregard ito, it will result to stage 4. You're just going to you're just going to read this one or be familiarized. Pero once naabot sa stage 4, there might be a potential gum loss and advanced breakdown of the supportive tissue and to the point na baka matanggal yung ngipin. So other signs or manifestation include halitosis, gingival inflammation or gingivitis, and dental calculus. Siyempre, mga plaque lang yan. Let's say, madali lang sana yan matanggal gamit ang, ano tawag nito, gamit ang mga toothbrush ka. So once matagalan, eh ano talaga yan, dental calculi. Differential diagnosis, it can be a stomatitis or tooth resorption. Later, we will discuss what are these. And of course, for the diagnostics, you need to do oral examination and dental radiographs if necessary talaga. For the prognosis, good with early intervention. But of course, if in case malala na, kung hindi na talaga makakaya ng dental cleaning, then baka tooth extraction yung kailangan dito. So, professional cleaning, antibiotics, and tooth extraction if severe. Actually, professional cleaning or of tooth of animals is somewhat very anong tawag dito, another potential income source for veterinarians or for other persons na gusto mag-practice sa dental healthcare. But of course, with supervision of a licensed veterinarian. And then prevention, regular dental cleanings, and daily toothbrushing would be the preferred preventive measure. Okay, for the other diseases, second is the tooth resorption or somewhat pagkawala or let's say, gradual na pagkawala ng ngipin kasi there is an inflammatory response na nangyayari. So, actually, most commonly, the cause is unknown. Pero merong study na it can be an immune-mediated type of disease. So, this is very common in cats rather than in dogs. So, it can result of pain, difficulty in eating, and gingival inflammation. So as you can see here in the picture, healthy teeth ganito. And then may stage 1, parang walang nangyayari. Stage 2, merong degeneration dito. And then inflammation on the stage 3, 4A and 4B, up to the 4C at pag-abot ng stage 5, sorry for that stutter. Nawala na yung ngipin kasi na inuubos niya ng immune system ng animal. So, for example, just like this one, as you can observe, this is actually still normal pa, hindi pa masyadong affected. Pero dito, nasa stage 4 na. Okay. In the actual picture, saan ba dito yung tooth resorption? Actually, this one, mayroon ng initial signs, just like ang napagpula-pula dito. Okay. So, yes, that is actually a tooth resorption case. And then, of course, you need to do dental radiographs to diagnose it and differentiate it with periodontal diseases or fractured tooth. So, the prognosis actually is progressive, which actually requires extraction. And then, of course, treatment para hindi na affect pa ng other teeth, you need to extract the affected tooth. Sorry for that. And then prevention is regular dental exams and early detection. If in case na meron ka nang na-observe na tooth resorption, much better tanggalin mo na or baka mawala pa yung kanyang mawala pa yung ngipin or maka-affect pa ng other na mga ngipin. Next is gingivous stomatitis. By the way, pagpasensyahan nyo ng aso ko. It is actually very common in cats because the usual cause of this dental problem is associated with some viral diseases. Common is the FIV or the FELV. So, yes, by epidemiology, these are the one. Clinical manifestation, severe gingivitis, as you can observe in the picture, yung gums very red na, tapos parang there is a potential degeneration. And then, other from that, of course, there will be an expected oral pain. Ikaw ba naman? Isa lang yung, kung sa tao pa, isang ngipin lang nga yung masakit, wala ka ng ganang kumain. How much more? Tingnan mo yung gingiva ng pusa. Sino ba yung magkakagana kumain, di ba? And then, differential diagnosis for that would be a periodontal disease or also neoplasia. Yes, so, as you can observe in the physical examination here, para makasuspect ka rin, parang may tumor, for example, this one. There is, pero of course, you need to differentiate it, especially if the cat is having a viral condition. Okay, so for the diagnostic, of course, biopsy, if in case you are suspecting also neoplasia, blood test for viral infection, especially if you are suspecting FIV or FELV. So for the prognosis is variable, depende sa cause or depende sa management. Okay, if in case na well-maintained yung management ng gingival stomatitis sa pusa, baka maging okay din siya. So, treatment is full mouth extraction, most likely. Tatanggalin yung lahat ng mga ngipin, unfortunately. But kung makakaya pa man lang ng corticosteroids or antibiotics, why not, di ba? So, for prevention, of course, viral disease control through vaccination would be the better take and early dental care. So, that's it. That is why during clinical practice, huwag kalimutan tingnan ng ngipin ng aso or ng pusa. Baka meron ng dental problem. So next is the malocclusion. The causes of malocclusion or deformity of the teeth is due to genetic trauma, developmental abnormalities. Yes, actually there are some cases na, for example of course we all know that the dogs and cats have temporary teeth first and then as they age, it will become a permanent teeth. Diba? But sometimes there are cases na yung temporary teeth nagre-retain. Tapos, naging ano sila, like sumama sila together with the permanent teeth. Let's say, hindi natanggal ang temporary teeth, nag-erupt na yung permanent teeth. So that is actually a condition called as retained deciduous tooth. And if that happens, there might be a tendency that it can predispose also to dental malocclusion. Actually, this is not a retained deciduous tooth. So, for example na lang ha, sa retained deciduous tooth, let's say this is a canine, let's assume na normal yung orientation. There might be a tendency that there is another canine there that is a temporary tooth. That is why actually, in the stage of puppies, especially when they are around 5 to 1 year old, 5 months old, I mean, 5 months old to 1 year old, there might be a tendency na nangangagat-ngat talaga sila. Because that is actually termed as teething and it is normal in that life stage of dogs. Kasi parang kinocompensate nila or parang mechanism yan na gusto nilang kunin yung mga temporary tooth through ngat-ngat-ngat-ngat and then palitan na ng mga permanent tooth. Kaya sa clinical manifestation actually sa malocclusion is misaligned teeth, difficulty closing the mouth, and oral trauma. By the way, this is very common in brachycephalic breeds. So, differential diagnosis can be due to fractured tooth and jaw fractures. And diagnostic, so of course, you need to do physical examination and dental radiographs. Baka inside the gums merong severe deformity dyan na naka-influence ng malocclusion. And for the prognosis, depends on severity kasi kung isang ngipin lang, baka ma-manage lang yan through oral extraction or tooth extraction. However, if in case maraming ngipin ang involved or involved na yung mandible or ang maxilla, then that would be a very serious problem. So, treatment is orthodontic correction, extraction if necessary, and then for prevention, selective breeding. It's because na kung meron na siyang potential problem of dental malocclusion, since it is a genetic cause also, then you might as well control it through proper breeding. Let's say, yung aso mo meron ng dental malocclusion, wag mo na siyang dagdagan ng lahi. Baka yung puppies niya, meron din ganyang problem in the future. Next is the fractured teeth. Na-mention ito sa part of the differential diagnosis. So, of course, when we say fractured teeth, almost the same sa concept ng fractured na bone. Okay, pero dito naputol na yung ngipin. On this case, a canine tooth naputol na. So it can be due to trauma or chewing hard objects and very common in dogs, especially that chew on hard bones. Siyempre, puputulin talaga niya ng ngipin if in case hindi ma-compensate mismo ng enamel ng ngipin. Clinical manifestation for this one is of course tooth pain and then reluctance to eat. And for the differential diagnosis, so it can be due to periodontal disease or tooth resorption. I have mentioned that on the previous slide. And dental radiograph would be a better take for diagnostics because when you have a dental fracture, sometimes it is not what is present outside or what is usually seen outside ang gusto mong i-detect, malay natin there is also a potential incomplete fracture mismo doon sa mga extension ng ngipin na nakaburrow sa gingiva. Okay? Prognosis, good with early treatment ito. And of course, root canal therapy would be the better treatment for this or tooth extraction if in case kailangan na talaga. And then prevention is avoidance of hard chew toys and regular dental exams. Okay. Next is oral neoplasia. So I have mentioned this also with regards on oral neoplasia in dogs and cats. So the cause of such problem is still unknown, but of course, it can be influenced by genetic and environmental factors. So very common siya actually in older animals as expected kasi yung mga cancer or mga neoplasm usually they are occurring older animals naman. So, clinical manifestation are oral masses, just like this one is presented in the picture. Okay, just like this one. And then, difficulty in eating. Yes, ikaw naman, kakain ka, tapos meron kang tumor sa ngipin, parang malaking problema ito. And then, bleeding gums. Of course, if the tumor is already affecting the blood vessels na, so it might be, it might affect also, it might cause a bleeding gap. So, differential diagnosis, stomatitis, or periodontal disease. So diagnostic, of course, you need to know if in case the tumor is or the origin of the tumor, you need to understand, and also imaging. Baka hindi lang sa labas yung problem, baka nag-extend na sa inside, hindi lang makikita kasi covered ng gums or ng skin. And then for the prognosis, depende kung ano nga type yung tumor. Kasi if in case na benign lang, then most likely para makere pala niya ng surgical intervention. Pero kung if in case the tumor is of, let's say, what do you call this, metastatic na, because there are some tumors na kahit localized, para metastatic na yung by nature, then baka kailangan na talaga ng chemotherapy. So, treatment is surgical excision or radiation therapy, and then prevention, early detection through regular oral exam. Pag late pa yung tumor, mas better na tanggalin na lang or i-assess agad. Next is orthodontic abnormalities in dogs and cats. Actually, I am referring here to the undershoot and the overshoot type of teeth. So, this is actually a congenital developmental disorder and very common siya in purebred dogs and cats. So, one of the common clinical manifestation is the abnormal bite. So, just like this one, sa pusong ito, pasensyahan nyo na lang yung mukha. It is an example actually of undershoot or bulldog mouth in which the mandible, this one, is way longer than its maxilla. Dapat dito yung maxilla eh. Or let's say parang almost the same of length para ma-properly orient sila. And then on the overshoot or what we call the sparrowed mouth, the maxilla is somewhat longer than usual. So, for example, actually, common ito sa mga chihuahua nga maliit yung kanilang mandible tapos sometimes medyo mahaba pa yung sila. So, yan. Differential diagnosis is malocclusion and also jaw fractures, and then dental examination, radiographs, yes, very common na mga diagnostic kailangan natin, and prognosis depends on the severity. For example, if in case pag ganito ng situation, if in case parang hindi naman lang maka-alter sa overall health nila, pasensyahan nila kung pagkaka maging cute or pangit yung itsura nila, then nakadepende na yon sa veterinarian na involved. Pero pag ako nakakita nito, ng ganitong case, ang masasabi ko lang, if in case hindi nakaapekto sa pagkain, overall healthy naman, then wala tayong magagawa dito sa ganitong problem. Okay. Or let's say, hindi silang walang magagawa, kundi wala tayong gagawin. Ha? Wala tayong gagawin. Kasi if in case this problem can create a difficulty in eating or parang na hihinder yung overall health niya, then that is something to needed to be intervened. Okay. So, prevention, selective breeding, of course, if in case na meron ng parrot mouth or bulldog mouth yung aso or pusa nyo, mas better wag nyo nang i-breed kasi baka may tendency yung puppies niya or ang kittens magkakaroon din ng the same condition sa kanila. Next is endodontic disease. So by the name itself, sa loob yung problema. So it can be caused by trauma or bacterial infection. And then very common in dogs that chew on hard object. So clinical manifestation is tooth discoloration or swelling pain. And yes, ang differential diagnosis, of course, same also with fractured tooth and potential abscesses. And dental radiograph will be the one that are going to assess if there is a presence of endodontic disease. So just like what is present here, uh, parang iba yung ngipin. So mas mabuti siguro na i-extract na lang ito. Kasi for example, most likely this is a region of a premolar or molar. Tapos merong something ibang klaseng ngipin ito. Yun. Once may makita kang ganito, mas better na tanggalin nyo na lang. Let's say, parang nag-assume ka na, nandito ka sa premolar and molar, pero yung ngipin dito parang canine tooth. So, it is actually abnormal, so tanggalin na lang. Okay. And then, prevention is avoidance of hard chew object. Next is dental abscess, which is also present in dogs and cats. So, of course, basta abscess, it can be due to secondary bacterial infection or baka there might be a potential trauma there, sugat, tapos napasukan ng bacteria, and then nagka-infection. So, very common in older dogs and cats, and of course, there might be a potential swelling, pain, and purulent discharge if there is a presence of such abscesses. And then differential diagnosis, of course, you might as well consider it from differentiating sa tumor or foreign body reaction. When we say foreign body reaction, baka merong nag-penetrate dyan na something na mga physical objects and then naka-create ng anong tawag dito, naka-create ng inflammatory response. So, diagnostics are radiographs and cytology and yes, of course, baka at least ma-detect niyo if there's a foreign body inside that causes the inflammation. So you need to get rid of that. Kasi kahit ano pa yung antibiotic na gagamitin mo, then tapos hindi mo yung makuha yung foreign object, example lang ha, babalik at babalik din yung inflammatory response or secondary bacterial infection. So, if the treatment is good, then the prognosis will also be good, di ba? And then treatment would be antibiotics or extraction on affected tooth. Case-to-case basis actually ito. By the way, ha, tandaan nyo, usually the first line antibiotic that is usually used for dogs and cats with periodontal disease is clindamycin. Please take note of that. But I am not saying that you need to isolate yourself to clindamycin because there are some cases that you need a broad spectrum antibiotic also. But yun lang nga, kasi very common lang yung clindamycin for periodontal diseases in dogs and cats. For prevention, regular dental care, and for treatment of oral injuries. Pag maliit pa, mas better i-treat na. I-assess agad baka lumala pa pareho nito. Okay. Of course, very common na other disease in dogs and cats is halitosis or commonly known as bad breath. So, periodontal disease, dental plaque, or oral infections are the potential etiology of such bad breath and systemic disease also. Because there are some systemic disease na even though that the teeth of the dog is appears to be normal, pero since there is an underlying systemic problem on the animal, then baka magka-bad breath din siya. Not directly to the teeth, but to the infection or the systemic illness inside. Epidemiology is seen in pets of all ages, more common in older animals, syempre because of their poor dental hygiene. So, clinical manifestation, common sense na lang ito, mabahong hininga. So, and also sometimes associated with tartar and gingivitis. So, differential diagnosis can be due to periodontal disease, but if in case malinis yung ngipin tapos bad breath, then there is something to do in the inside of the body. Tandaan nyo yan na hindi lahat ng bad breath due to dental problem. Of course, gastrointestinal disorder, kidney disease, and diabetes mellitus most likely can be a part of the differential diagnosis. So, oral examination, dental radiographs, and blood work would be a vital solution or the vital diagnostic procedure for halitosis and prognosis. Actually, it is good, especially if you will treat the underlying cause. So, treatment is professional dental cleaning, oral hygiene, and treatment of the systemic disease. So, for the prevention, of course, same pa rin, dental care, brushing of teeth, dental chews, or routine veterinary checkups. And I guess that would be the end of this topic. So thank you so much. If there are questions with regards on this, you may put it in the comment section of this channel or of this video. And then also for other diseases, that would be your assignment. And of course, please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much and let's call it a day.